Thank you. At this time, we will have our second presentation of seasonal affective disorder, which will be conducted by one of our family members, Dr. Nadia. Please help me. Navarrete-Tindall. Oh, thank you. Miss Matthews can say it very well. She can even roll the R. Oh, there you go.
So we've been practicing for 5 years now.
At this time, please welcome Dr. Tindall. And she will also give a brief information about herself as well. I wanted her to share something, too, about herself in her native homeland. Dr. Nadia.
Hi, everybody. Hi. I know many of you, and it's fun for me to be here. And just a little brief. Before I start talking about myself, I'd like to introduce some of our members. Native Plants program, and also we have a LUCE program. And I want to start with Jeff Hargrove. Some of you know him. He's our community garden manager, and we're gonna just wanna give a very general announcement that he'll be working with you if you're interested in joining us at the community garden. There will be some more information coming from the Paula Carter Center, so be prepared that you can grow whatever you want next year. And hopefully you can sell some at the market. And that's Maggie, you know Maggie, she's the farmer's market manager. We have Ronnie. She's our nutrition specialist, and so that's part of the LUCE program. And in that little corner, we have Amy Hempen, that is our native plant technician, but she does it all. And she's very talented, so I'm going to show you some of her creations. And so eventually we're going to have more talks about gardening and other things. But today, I'd like to focus, but first of all, I'm from El Salvador, and you probably, some of you know, is where my accent comes from. And I'm gonna, if you don't understand me, please stop me, because I'm used to that. I have a husband that is from Iowa. He has taught me many things, but still I know that my accent sometimes can be funny. So, talking about the holiday blues, it's not just for you. It's not people that live in this, like live here. For me, El Salvador, my family is in El Salvador. I have to go once a year to renew my batteries. That's what I say, because I do need my family to be with me, and this is, I feel this is home for me. My husband and his family is home for me, but still, that first home is still there. Yeah. So I do get depressed. And one thing that happened to me when I was getting my PhD, I didn't work for a whole year. And because I was finishing my degree, I didn't have a green card at the time. I was already married, but I couldn't work. So I started making these little cards. And I think I got to number 300 and something, and that kept me going. I finished my PhD doing these little cards. Because you can imagine, it was just boring and the same thing going over and over again, and that kept me pretty, the opposite to blue. I don't know how you can say blue. I was bright with these little cards. So the same thing, it can happen to you. Like right now, it's kind of fun because with native plants, and I'm going to give you just a brief introduction about what we mean by native plants. Oops, did I miss something? I run the native plants program at Lincoln University. Many of you have been introduced to native plants. And what that means is that we work with plants that are native to Missouri and surrounding states. And the main purpose of the program is to promote the use of native plants for conservation and other uses, but also identify their value-added uses. You have heard that word before. This could be, excuse me, a value-added use. This, as I say, we have a talented person here. This was made by Amy. I have to pass it because it's very, I thought that it would be easy. I say, that's easy. I could do it. And it's another one. So that's something that I think when I show these kind of materials and items. Excuse me, Isabel, you can come. She's our greenhouse manager. You're welcome. And I pass that little ornament. You don't have to be that, that artistic. But this is the pot that we're using. It's a Kentucky coffee tree pot. The seeds are very hard. We don't have a bracelet made with the seeds, but this is actually made with persimmon seed and lettuce seed. I'll pass this one too. So things like this either can keep you busy and happy. You can make your own gifts for your family, and you don't have to spend too much. You just have to look around, and even that walk to the park where the Kentucky coffee tree grows will give you some brightness to your life too. So it's a double purpose. Another thing that we're doing with the native plants program is to increase the awareness about their potential native plants to be grown as crops in either urban and rural areas. And we do that in Haywood City and other places. So we work all over the place, Kansas City, we have projects in Marshall, we are in Jefferson City. We haven't done anything in St. Louis, but we work a lot in the Wood Hill region, especially in Cooperative and Haywood City. Now, I'm just going to show you some native plants that can be used for cards or other floral arrangements. I tried to bring stuff that we had already tried. But see this is a beautiful, it's a mint plant. When it's dry, excuse me, I would ask you to keep quiet because I'm very soft-spoken, and I don't know if everybody is hearing me. So this little plant, this is a very short growing plant. We just dry the sprigs and we can use it for dry arrangements. We have elderberry flowers. We're gonna pass you a plate where everybody's gonna have a plate with different sources of flowers and dry materials. We use that a lot. The flowers are very easy to press. New England aster is another one that you see in some of your places. The purple flowers that we have, they dry very nicely. That's an onion that could be also pressed very easy. You see, beautiful, but then flat. That looks very pretty. And this is bee balm. I show pretty pictures, and this is my husband's picture, so when I show it off. But, so we have this flower. Is actually, let's see if I can find them. I have some samples for you. Let's see if I find it. If I don't find it. Let's see. But when the plants dry, it's just a round, it's just round in the middle. That can be used for dry arrangements. But I will show you when I'm done. I just don't want to spend too much time. Another plant that we can gather is just, see the leaves here, they dry very nicely. They become kind of like red, like this. And we have others like Blazing Star. This is in the summer, and this is now. We use the seed to grow new plants.
In my garden.
In Miss Mom's garden. and we use the seed. We use the seed to grow, and then she can enjoy them. Also, the birds love them. Instead of thistle, you can have a Blazing Star in your yard or in a pot. And birds like goldfish, you just love them. And so, because I don't want to spend too much time talking about native plants, I just wanted you to feel that all the material that we have that we are sharing today it comes from native plants. So they have been naturally found in this area. We have them growing in gardens, and that's part of the community garden too, that you can learn in the next year about to recognize these plants. What you need for cut making, and it's what we're doing today, is, because we don't need really too much big materials, you need a phone book, because it's the easiest. You just gather the pieces of leaves, and then you press them. Some of you have done it before. It is how they become like pretty flat. Some dry better than others, so don't use materials that are too thick. And we have all the dry or pressed materials that we're going to provide today. You need Elmer's glue, cardstock, and if you want to show some, Amy, please.
Cardstock?
Mm-hmm. We have different kinds. I should just show you how they come. They see that paper.
This one's a full sheet, so if you wanted to make a card, you could fold it in half. I think she's got some that are some small ones, pre-made ones, so you can make a smaller card.
And they were underneath.
And then these are really pretty, some brown kind of cardboard, natural looking ones you can make. And they have envelopes that come with them too, so you can mail it to your friend if you wanted.
And we're not making an ad here, but I got these from Michael's, but you can find them in places like
Hobby Lobby.
And here's some red. There's a line, so you can fold it in half to make a smaller card in this color too if you want.
That what she's showing you is, and I made these.
Or black.
And that's it. Yeah, that
So you got
cardstock. Yeah, and I use this one, the same cardstock that she showed you, the black one. I just copied half of it and just made it there. So see, I would pass it, and you see that it's. If you can tell me how many types of plants you see there. So it's just, we wouldn't just see it, but we only are using two types of plants. A grass that might look weedy to you if you see it in the ground or along a roadside. But like that, you just use a piece of ribbon and that makes it pretty. And let's see, we're gonna provide today just plastic knives, so that would help you to put the glue on the leaves and the card. And tweezers is probably a good idea, but we didn't have so many today because it's easier to handle instead of twist. But you have your 2 fingers, and we put some plastic. We'll get you or something that at least you have to be sure that you don't put that in paper, otherwise immediately after you glue the plants or the like here. This is so simple. You just get your material, put some of the glue on it's better to put it on the piece of the plant and then glue it. You might have some glue left over, so you have to be careful not to stick it with something else, on something else. And this is just some picture from 2010. I thought I was looking for some good pictures, and I found some of you. This was exactly 2 years ago. See, everybody was busy, pretty relaxed, I think. And we have and these are some of the samples we were using. See, the leaves were
That's her in the background. Oh, in the back. Right. Well, I was trying not to see.
Oh, wait for that. There she is. Yeah, and if we have a better picture here, and we have some of them. That was a pretty picture. And see, what you see here, these are 1, 2, 3 plants that if you see, and I have this, if you look at this might look like garbage to you, but if you see one single leaf and you have a cardstock, they look beautiful. And there you are. And I think this is the wahoo tree that I show you. That's a leaf of a wahoo. This is a petal, a rose petal. And this is, I think, elderberry flowers. Now, the last part I want to mention that if you want to do cards, want to move to the next level, then you can gather dry materials to make things like that. Wreath here, and I want to bring it to the front. See this one? Everything is made entirely with native plant materials. See the back? You probably know what that is, or could be. Exactly. So these are just examples of things that we gather. As I say, it might look like it's so brown and so not interesting, but then you put it in a grouping like this. I'm not the greatest wreath maker, but I'm learning. And I'm sure that here you might have people that probably don't know that they can do it. So when I first started, I didn't really know that I could do it. And you can see here is red cedar, pine, these are rose hips, and this is a grass. With this, walk it around. So you have to help me to find out some of the native plants. I'll give you a hand. See, the first part
Is that the glue gun that you use to glue the?
I didn't use glue gun. I only use just wire. I try not to use it, but you might lose some berries. Okay, I'll let everybody see it, and then we'll talk about the materials that you see in that wreath. See,
How long does that wreath last?
it's for the Christmas, maybe January, and it's still gonna be there, but the colors are not permanent as a plastic. But you can. But the point is that it's more fun to keep refreshing them instead of having a boring plastic wreath that will last you forever. You don't want that.
She's Vanna White. Vanna White.
Our Vanna So now you kind of saw the materials. Grapevine, this is actually growing in my yard. I go at the end of the season, and I gather when I prune some of the plants, and they became part of the wreath. We can use Virginia creeper, which is very common, and beautiful. Some of you are gonna get some of the leaves. Just the beautiful color. Then we have the berries that you see there is deciduous holly.
Right.
Is anybody from the Good Hill here? Did you see ever along the roadsides are pretty abundant now? It's still,
Yeah.
and it's where I got these berries from. I couldn't help it. I want to stop at every and it was funny because this year with being so dry, and the trees were just fall vibrant. This is not a picture taken this year, but it was very beautiful. And they're pretty perfect for Christmas. Then we have blue and white Baptisia. Is the vase that you have here. This one. Yes, and those are, Miss Yvonne uses them for, well, I don't know, I haven't seen you using them yet. Have you used them?
Mm-hmm.
For like more rattles, storytelling, or for fun. And smooth sumac is one of my favorites. The red leaves are just beautiful. And I'm sure you have seen them along the roadsides. And we put some of these in the, oh, thank you, Amy. That's sumac. You can also make a drink out of sumac.
No.
I will make, I didn't do it today because it wasn't native edibles. But next year, during the community garden classes, we usually try different native plants. Amy is, as I say, she's pretty talented and she's also a good cook. And I am doing in spite of what Yvonne said. I love cooking. But you have to be, I don't know what you have to talk about that. I made a tamale pie that Amy thinks that is the best. Now,
Dr. Nadia, she was thinking poison sumac. You want to explain?
I couldn't quite read it.
okay, thank you for telling me. It's the flowers. I have just a reminder for myself. When I say sumac, people think immediately about poison sumac, and poison sumac doesn't have red berries. It's white or kind of greenish. They're not really pretty at all, and they don't have the red color leaves, and it's a very, very small shrub. So this is completely different. This is what we use to make a drink that we call sumac aid instead of lemonade. So that's it. Thank you. And I actually have made a jelly that is pretty tasty, pretty light, but tasty. And talking about selling stuff in the market. And we'll try it next year. So trumpet creeper is a, let's see. I put this, I don't know if you can see, this other pot here is the trumpet creeper. So this became a pot here. And that's it. Now, are you ready?
That was the plant I was asking you about. What's the name of it again?
Which?
The vine, the creeper with the pods, and the yellow trumpet flowers.
It's trumpet creeper. Trumpet creeper.
Trumpet creeper.
It has yellow or orange flowers. Okay. Well, we're gonna before we get started, before we give you all your materials, what you're gonna get is a cardstock, the color of your choice of what we have. You're gonna get a plate.
Everybody's plate can be a little bit different. So if maybe you have something on your plate that you don't want to use with your neighbor, you can kind of share with your neighbor, but we just kind of get each plate to be big up a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot of variety. So, so what we're gonna do, since I don't have a table here, I would suggest that you put some of the Elmer's glue. Everybody's gonna have their own little container for the glue. And you just use your do we have anything for a pad or no? No, everybody has their own pad. So excuse me, before we, I just want to be sure that you, for some of you that might not have done it before, just be sure that you don't put too much of the glue on your material and go very carefully. And just maybe put some in the middle. And if you need more, you can add more once in your...
This is the
It's very easy. So now, you're gonna have a plate with all your material, so it's gonna be your own card. And at the end, when you're done, would you like to take pictures?
Oh, wow. Like maybe let's take us and discuss.
Isabel? One more thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It will be here. See, this is, you got the only onion. This is the onion. And this is blackberry. I think this is persimmon. Just see this pretty. This is our well, we can refresh it. So you can go anytime. Oh, you got it. You see there is diversity, so if you want to.
I'm so I can see it.
Yeah, I don't know where it is.
Oh, you mean kind of like this one? Oh. I only have some maybe blue hats. Okay. To the lecture. And so tell me, given what you learned today about seasonal affective disorder, how does an activity like this, or an opportunity to do this type of work, how does that have anything to do with seasonal affective disorder?
Relaxation.
So it gives you some relaxation. So
Yeah.
if the issue you're dealing with is being tense,
Right.
because of the no sun or the poor diet,
Stress.
you can relax. What else did I hear?
Something to do.
Gives you something to do. So if your depression is born out of being bored,
Right. Right.
so perhaps if you didn't have the opportunity to think, I'm sad, I'm gloomy, the sun's not out, it's cold, I don't want to go, gives you something to do, and something that you can show off to someone else. Yes. Dr. Chavis?
Okay, what I do, I'll say to the Lord, I'm all crazy. I'll say, thank you, Lord, for allowing me to get up and develop a beautiful character like this. Some people, and then the blues will leave you. You're so busy in trying to straighten this out and the flowers falling apart. Pretty soon you have a lovely plant or a flower, and so you forgot all about it. The sun was done because it's out now.
Right, and for those of you who were at NEMA and went to the session that was on art therapy, remember that the person who taught us said that any creativity is an expression between your heart and God. And so even though the leaves may be falling apart, when it's done, it's beautiful. And so it has taken, you've been distracted. Very good. Anything else? Anybody else? Yes.
To overcome my lack of creativity.
It also teaches us patience.
Teaches you patience and lets you stop for a moment. But remember, we don't say that we're not creative, because whatever you've done there, Miss Rita, is creative. Anything else?
It's pretty.
Is what? Oh, right, the materials are not expensive to come by.
No.
Just have an eye. And you'll find yourself, because now that I get to hang out with Nadia, and really that garden that she's, I call it my garden, because it's in front of my window at work. And I have to walk by it every day to get into my building. But as I'm walking, that's how I came to those pods that are on the wreath that make noise, because I'm always looking to see what's new and how it looked this way in May and it looks totally different in November. And so if you like doing this, you'll be walking and thinking, oh, I like that. What can I do with that? And so it gives you a different something different to focus on. Anybody else? So today you learned about seasonal affective disorder. You'll know that you can be in the light, and you can change your diet, and you can also do things that are creative, that will allow you to bring less gloom and more activity into the season. So with that, I'll turn this back over to Dr. Nadia. So we're done. We're done, we just say, when you say we're done.
Okay, I'm not in a hurry, but I know that we have a schedule. So it would be up to.
We have about, I think, 3 minutes to 1.
Well, I would say double. But we don't have much more time left. But I can say here, we have the materials. If anybody wants to do an additional card, you're very welcome. We have everything here, so you don't have to leave. But before you leave, I would like to take a picture of your card and yourself, if you don't mind. So you ready? So I only have one camera.
Let me see yours, Miss Sassy.
Time to wind up our lunch and learn today. Thank you, Miss Florence. Inside your packets, of course, you have a photo release form. So at this time, please make sure you complete that, because we can, Lincoln University Cooperative can utilize your photo. The other thing too, there are evaluations. Make sure you complete your evaluations for Dr. Carol Johnson and for Dr. Nadia. And one more thing, if you have not signed the sign-in sheets, I have it. Are there any questions or comments you would like to say before we officially dismiss?
I want to say thanks so much, and this was a very informative meeting, and I enjoy myself every time I come to Lunch and Learn.
Thank you. That's what we want to hear. Great. Any other comments?
One more comment. I'm a recruiter for Sprouts and Roots, and that's a program that welcomes everybody. We grow plants. We have raised beds. They give us seeds and plants, and we also can sell our vegetables, produce at the farmers market, which meets every Saturday. And we learn a lot about nutrition, cooking, canning, dehydrated foods, and native plants, what's edible. I also can add, I joined the Native Plant Club because of Nadia, and I made poke salad with eggs, and we ate it.
And it was good.
So we'll meet making cookies December 14th, is it, at 1 o'clock? In the new kitchen that we have here. And the lessons are very, very informative. Anybody can come. Yes, that's why I'm asking all of you to come.
Are they
The more the merrier.
Are they native plant cookies?
I don't think we got there yet. We're getting there.
I can answer that question because we made persimmon cookies.
Yes, yeah.
And we also, Amy, that's one with blue sage.
Sprouts and Roots. Huh?
Cookie day.
December 14th at 1 p.m. And you can bring your own cookies, dough, and cut them up. They've got a real fancy, what is that called, oven? The air circulates around, I can't think of the name of it. Convection oven that will take about 40 or 50 different things at one time. And it's just really, really informative. I've learned a lot. I've been cooking all my life, and I'm still learning. So I tell you, 1 o'clock, December 14th.
It's a Friday.
Friday. Big one?
Here. Thank you.
In the kitchen there, where we got the soup.
Okay. One thing I'd like to add, if you, it would be nice if you let us know that you're coming, because we can get ready with a number of people. We already have our Sprouts and Roots for the fall. There are about 17 members. Not everybody comes, but that will help us get ready, as you say, they can bring, everybody can bring their own dough, maybe do their own cookies, but we can also do it here. But it just depends on, you don't have to bring your stuff.
We have another person.
I would like to thank Mrs. Florence Vaughn for bringing me so I could attend this. I have enjoyed it tremendously, very informative, and it won't be my last time.
We love hearing that.
We need more guys. You have a job to recruit more of your peers. But because if you're having
Wherever you go to call me, you'll see one or two men. Because they're dead. Or don't want to be bothered.
at least they can come to eat. Bring them at least to eat the cookies.
If there are not any more comments at this time, please join me in a round of applause for Dr. Nadia. This concludes our Lunch and Learn, and we hope to see you again in January for our next one, January 30th, 2012. 2013. Thank you. Thank you.
If anybody wants to share their card before you leave, they need to go, but we're staying, so we'll have to finish cleaning anyway. So if anybody wants to share their card, Dexter, CDs.